So this is a Klout interview at DMEXCO. Help me with Joe Fernandez, now Lithium Technologies, but he's the founder of Klout. Maybe you just give a small background to your person and Klout for the people who don't know Klout.
Sure. So my name's Joe Fernandez. Back in early 2008, I founded Klout. And the goal with Klout has always been to understand the world's influence. So I want to understand for every single person what they're influential about and who they influence. And I want to help them understand that. I want to help them build their influence, and I want to help them be recognized for it. So oftentimes brands will use Klout to recognize and reward influencers who are influential in particular topics relevant to that brand. So an example might be Audi wants people who are influential about luxury cars, but also design, technology, fashion, things relevant to Audi's brand. And they'll give those people access to a new Audi before anybody else and let those people talk about it, because when they talk about it, their network responds and kind of follows their influence and passion on that topic. We're based in San Francisco, California. About 6 months ago, we were acquired by Lithium Technologies, and I now run Klout from within Lithium Technologies.
Okay, we are going to talk later about why Lithium has now Klout acquired.
Sure.
Maybe to start off, of course, well, my first encounter with Klout, I guess, was when I read the book from Brian Solis, and he actually also came to that crossroads how to measure influence.
Yeah.
And in the German community, I guess everybody who's into social media watches eagerly his Klout score. So maybe you have already reached one goal, that the influencer takes the effects of gamification from the Klout score.
Yeah, it's been really amazing. Klout started just in my bedroom. It was actually a funny story. Late 2007, early 2008, I had jaw surgery, and my jaw was wired shut for 3 months. I was living in New York City, and I couldn't speak at all. So I had to completely rely on social media. And as I was in that situation and using those platforms in that way, it changed the way I thought about them. And the sense that it was amazing to me that the people who trusted me the most, I could tell them my opinion on anything instantly. And the data was there to measure that impact. And I got really obsessed with that idea that word of mouth was scalable and social was going to change the way people communicated, that every person was a broadcaster, and I wanted to understand it. So I started building Klout. But it was just me in my bedroom. Like, I had no idea that people in Germany or even outside of my bedroom would ever know or care. So it's been a really amazing and fun journey. And it always blows my mind when somebody tells me, like, oh, they've known their Klout score, they've thought about Klout, or they've heard about Klout for a long time. And I've been fortunate to be able to get a really great team and really smart people who are as passionate about this as I am. And together, we've all tried to build something really special. And we think, we're very early in that process, but it's been awesome that people who are passionate about social media are aware and care of their Klout scores.
Did you ever read the book of the chief scientist of Lithium?
Michael, yeah.
Yeah. The science of social, which I truly recommend for everybody, since there's a certain magic and there are mechanisms underway And what you address with Klout is, of course, one part of the gamification. It's a type of reward for influencers to see that they have influence and then they can work on their influence. Like with a Fitbit, I see results. I see also the effects of my sharing, responding, interacting by Klout.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, there's two ways to look at this Klout score. And, one way is people get frustrated that, the score is judging them or something like that. And they get frustrated and they don't like it. But in reality, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be a coach, trying to be something supportive, something that helps you become a more effective citizen in social media, more effective communicator, and the product has evolved in a way that's become much more apparent. And it's great. Every day I meet people who tell me Klout makes them create better content more often, and that again is something we're really proud of and something we want to continue evolving. And I think you mentioned Fitbit. There is this self-measurement and data, quantified self-movement. And I do think Klout is a part of that, where, everybody needs to have some sort of online persona, online brand that they curate and cultivate. And Klout is the benchmark that shows you how effective you are and helps you achieve whatever goals you might have.
Yeah. Truly, my personal opinion is you're successful because you drive digital narcissism. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely joked that there is an element of, we call it ego crack.
Yeah.
And there is the narcissistic ego component of Klout. Once you put a score, we're also trained to obsess about these scores. And when I started it wasn't really purposely thought of like that. It was really just this was an easy way for me to personally digest the information. But there is a part of our own kind of minds that inevitably work this way that Klout does tap into. And the score has been our best asset and worst enemy. It's great because it does tap into that and it's so digestible, but it's easy to get lost in the novelty of the ego and narcissism and lose sight of all the value below the surface that Klout helps surface. And so as we evolve the product, we want to balance those two aspects.
Last year I did an experiment on Klout. We actually thought about how we can drive our Klout score. Yeah. And I said, well, we don't have really many followers on Twitter, not comparable to Brian.
Right.
We don't have not as much followers connected via Google Plus like here Loic Lemur. He's crazy. Yeah. He's crazy. And so I said, maybe we can drive influence through interaction. And what we did, since we publish a blog nearly every day, we go out with a smarter service called, and I said, well, we are going to start discussions on Facebook, and we tag people to get them into the discussion. Yeah. And it worked pretty well. It's 20 basis points, something like that.
I believe it. Our philosophy has been, we don't care how many followers you have.
Yeah.
We care when you create content, how much engagement do you get, and who are those people that are engaging with you. And we believe that is the true essence of kind of what's important in social and what influence is. So I think your strategy of creating consistency, of doing it every day, interesting conversations with your network and audience, and getting them involved is really powerful. And I believe, I'm not surprised you've seen a big jump in your score.
Okay, so now there was that side of the influencer. Now, of course, you generate a lot of data, because I trust Klout, So I trust Klout. I connect my Facebook account. I connect our Twitter account. So you get access to what we publish, what we see, how we are connected to other people. How do you make this information not only available to your team to optimize Klout as a service, but also to other companies?
Yeah, so there is an amazing amount of social data. We actually process about 15 billion pieces of data every single day.
Okay.
So, huge, massive scale. And, our number one thing we think about internally is the trust that people give us with that data. And, we don't ever want to surprise our users with how that data is used, and we want them to be very clear on how they can grant or remove permission to certain aspects of the data. So we make that very clear throughout the process. But with the data that we do get access to, we have an API, and really straightforward, where if you're a business and you have to have a username, usually a Twitter handle, you can send us their Twitter handle and we'll send you back their Klout score and their topics of influence and some other data. It's very, very popular. We've got about 10,000 companies using it. We do about, I think the last count was about 100 billion transactions a month on the API. So some cool examples are there's hotels where they hit our API when you check in Las Vegas, and if you have a high Klout score, they upgrade your room, or they give you special treatment or things like that.
So now, for a company, it would be very interesting to see not only who is influential, but who is influential on my topics.
Right. That really is the key value. I mean, influence is a starting point, but knowing specifically to your brand how relevant this person is. So, for example, I'm not very influential in fashion.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking about fashion or I'm with my wife shopping, a brand doesn't particularly have to care that much. But video games or entrepreneurship or cars are things that I like and I talk a lot about and my network responds to and trusts me on. I have a different impact, and it's important to be able to have granularity between those two subsets. So that is something we've invested a huge amount of our resources in and continue to evolve. But that's really the foundation of how we work with marketers, is around topics.
Okay. So let's move on a bit to the lithium side of the game. What's your personal story? Why are you now part of the lithium family?
Yeah, it's a surprising story, honestly. I wasn't looking to be acquired, wasn't expecting to be acquired. But I met Rob Tarkoff, who's the CEO of Lithium, back in December, January this year. And we really hit it off in terms of both our vision for where the world's going. We both believe that advertising is broken, and that none of us pay attention to the ads we see every day. We pay attention to what our friends say and to what people we trust and what influencers say. And those people sometimes are on Twitter and Facebook through Klout, or sometimes in branded communities across the web. So we connected really deeply on that, and then more importantly is we connected on culture and values. So we both believe in, we both have the same passion for the space, but how we plan to achieve it is very aligned. From there, it just felt natural that we should be working closer together. I've known of Lithium. Lithium's a great company, so I've been following them for many years. And I always felt we were two sides of the same coin, where Lithium was all about getting consumers talking about your products and brand, but on your site and more in a service framework, where Klout was all about getting people talking about your brand broadly across social and more of a marketing framework. So very complimentary, and it's been an exciting few months since we've done the deal, and it's awesome having the resources to be able to come to an event like this in Cologne and tell the story of Klout and how we intend to change the face of advertising together.
How do you intend to change the face of lithium? Since I know, of course, for other people, important part of the lithium community framework is the gamification engine to give users rewards to find the super fans, super users who are really helpful by intrinsic motivation.
Yeah.
So how this will work together on a product side? Is this planned or?
So, Michael Wu is somebody I've known and respected for a long time. I think Michael and I first started spending time together like 5 years ago. And in fact, we always laugh because I tried hiring him to Klout many times.
Okay.
So, we certainly share a lot of the same perspectives around motivations and gamification and all these things. And Lithium has always been the best at understanding within your community who are the people you need to inspire and how do you reward them.
Yeah.
And Klout has been able to do that. Maybe somebody is in your community but not particularly active, but broadly on the social web, they're really an influencer. And so now we can combine these worlds and have the full spectrum of activity, insights, activation, and package them together in a way that can give a brand the power of a Klout campaign when they're launching a product, and the relationship building and traction and kind of long-term engagement around the Lithium community. So, there's a lot of really cool things in the product that you'll see these two things married together. And, it's been really fun the last few months going and showing our prototypes to advertisers and getting their feedback and iterating. And, we just did this deal, so 2014 is really about setting the stage for 2015. But it feels like we're in the middle of the right stuff, and the feedback has been amazing, and the teams are very excited, and our users are asking for this, so it's a good fit, I believe.
Okay, so maybe just to sum it up, you could give us maybe 2 or 3 insights of what you have on that roadmap for 2015, what you are working on right now, which will fit into that story.
Sure. So one of the big things we're working is something. Really, we have an internal name for it. We don't have an external name, but it's focused on this notion of advocacy. And Lithium's always been really great at building advocates within your community. But how can Klout help discover the people broadly online that you need to be advocates for you?
Yeah.
So the idea is you're launching a product. You start with the Klout side, and we'll go find the 100,000, 10,000 people you need talking about it, and we'll put the product in the hands of those people and use that as the
aggregator. Yeah.
Really, the activation, the kind of the spark of your community. So the community starts with these folks, and they're the most passionate people online about these particular topics. and they're the best content creators across social. So I'm much more, Lithium has really nailed forums and that interaction model, but bringing in more broad social, whether it's Instagram and YouTube and Vine and Pinterest and all the way Klout users create content, and using that as the starting point of a community that can then be distributed, broken apart and pulled back together however you see fit. And so you get the flash of the Klout side of getting those influencers talking about something as it launches. You get the quality of the content they create that you can bring back into your own property, but can also redistribute a bunch of ways. And then you get the engagement and long-standing relationship of a Lithium community, kind of the best of all worlds. So those are really the three key pillars that, from a product strategy perspective, that's what the market's telling us, and that's what we're building towards. So it's fun bringing these teams together and feeling all the energy going towards this.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.